It's lesson time again. Today we are going to talk about finding the x and y intercepts from graphs and graphing equations in standard form using the x and y intercepts. So please make sure you have the handout and a pencil on your desk. Close your laptops and hold a request to use the restroom until the lesson is over. Remember, if you would like to go back and see the examples again, you can find it on Blackboard. Let's take a look at number 1. Perhaps we should look first at the y-intercept. We used the y-intercept yesterday when we graphed from slope-intercept form. The y-intercept is on the y-axis, so the x-coordinate is 0. If we look at the graph, we find that the line crosses the y-axis at y equals 4. So, the y-coordinate of the y-intercept is 4. Now let's find the x-intercept. The line crosses the x-axis at -5. So, the x-intercept is -5, 0. Now let's look at number 2. The line crosses the y-axis at 2.5. So the coordinates are 0, 2.5. The line crosses the x-axis at x equals 3. So the x-intercept is 3, 0. Notice that each intercept has a 0 coordinate. The x-coordinate is 0 for the y-intercept, and the y-coordinate is 0 for the x-intercept. Graph number 3 looks very interesting. The line crosses the y-axis at +6. This means the y-intercept is 0, 6. Now, where does this line cross the x-axis? The line follows y equals 6 all the way across the graph. So the line will never cross the x-axis. Therefore, there is no x-intercept. We will write none next to the x-intercept point on our handout. Now turn to the page with the title Graphing Lines. We will do the first 3 examples on this page also. These equations are all in standard form. The directions say to graph each line by using the x and y intercepts. We graph using this technique because it is easier than transforming the line into slope-intercept form from standard form. Let's look at number 1. X plus y equals 5. We are going to make a t-chart with the x and y intercept as our first 2 chosen points. So we know that x equals 0 when the line crosses the y-axis. Let's see what value we get for y when we put 0 in for x. So our equation is x plus y equals 5. We put 0 in for x, and we get 0 plus y equals 5. Since we don't have to keep the 0, we end up with y equals 5. Our first point in the t-chart then is 0, 5. The x-intercept is on the x-axis, so y equals 0. Let's see what x is when y equals 0. X plus y equals 5. So now we have x plus 0 equals 5, and therefore x equals 5. Our point in the t-chart will be 5, 0. Now let's graph these 2 points and draw a line through them. Now let's check a third point just to make sure that we haven't made a mistake. I see a point at 1, 4 on my graph. If we put this into our equation, we get 1 plus 4 equals 5. Since this is true, we know that our line must be right. Example number 2. 3x plus 5y equals 15. If we let x equal 0, we get 3 times 0 plus 5y equals 15. Now the 3 times 0 goes away, but we still have to divide both sides by 5. So now we get 1y equals 3. The first point in our t-chart then is 0, 3. If we let y equal 0, we get 3x plus 5 times 0 equals 15. The 0 term drops out and we get 3x equals 15. Now we have to divide by 3 in order to get x by itself. So 1x equals 5, and the second point in our t-chart is 5, 0. Now let's graph these 2 points and draw a line through them. Now let's do graph number 3. Y equals 4. We will start again with x equals 0. Since there is no x term in our equation, y equals 4 when x equals 0. Our first point in the t-chart is 0, 4. Now, what if I let y equal 0? 0 equals 4? That's not right. So, I can't really do this problem in that way. Instead, I have to recognize that no matter what x is, y equals 4. So, when x is 1, y is 4. When x is 2, y is 4. When x is 3, y is 4. And so on. Now let's graph these points and draw a line. We see that we have a horizontal line at y equals 4. This makes sense because the slope of a horizontal line is 0, which is why there is no x term in the equation.
The rest of your worksheet is your homework. Continue to work on this for the remainder of class. Your homework is due tomorrow.